If something cracks or crunches, I'll stop. So we are on the way to Detroit right now to go pick up the single most expensive thing I have ever purchased in my entire life, and we can't even drive it. Why is it in Michigan? Well, we'll fill you in on that story in a little bit here. I actually have a personal attachment with this car. I've known it since I was like 12-ish. That was the first time I saw it. We have never seen the inside of it. Can't drive it because it got flooded. It's been sitting here since June when the flooding happened, through the whole process of it being totaled and having to, you know, buy it through insurance and all that stuff. It's going to be very bad. Wow. So it was in water, I think about up to here, just momentarily, but it was never dried out afterwards. Oh boy. Oh, look at that headliner. Oh man. Oh God. Bruh.
Get in there.
I'm not getting in there. God, it smells. Should I grab it?
You gotta wash your hands after.
I feel like if I touch anything in here, I'm gonna like melt. Man, it stinks. Whoa, look at this thing. It's a 2004 Phantom V12. Don't know if it works. We don't know how bad it is.
I'm sorry, I'm shaking because it's really cold.
It's okay. But we got suicide doors and mold. Dude. That steering wheel is not supposed to be fuzzy. Oh my God. Oh.
You know what I'm excited to do?
What?
Tear apart everything.
Yeah, we are. Let me just back away to talk about this thing for a second. The plan is we're gonna get this thing back to North Carolina. We are going to tear out everything inside it. Everything has to get torn out. I bought an ozone machine. It's all gonna get torn out, bleached, and freaking pressure wash the inside. I don't know. It's bad. And then, you know, we can find out if the engine is any good. But, you know, I don't want to use that engine because that wouldn't be fun. If the engine's not messed up, yeah, we'll use it for something else. We're not going to use it in this car. Yeah, I should remember how to do this. Damn it. Yeah, it's right here. They make it easy. I'd love to see this engine in something that has nothing to do with anything.
It says Rolls Royce. It has to be like a giant piece of shit, like.
Yeah. Oh, it's sad. Oh, Mr. Forbes was going to be so heartbroken to see this thing. So, a little bit of backstory here. My original garage where I built the Escalade was owned by a guy who owned this car. He bought it for his dad. His dad had it for years, didn't use that much. And he died. And then he kept it. It's kind of like his dad's car. Didn't take it out that much. But I remember him driving this thing around, like, oh, look, Mr. Forbes and his Rolls Royce, like 7th grade. This car just left an imprint on me. And one day in June, he texted me, "It's the end of an era," with like a sad emoji. And this thing is full of water. I'm like, what happened? He got caught in a flash flood around here somewhere. He was in Detroit. He drove the car here from Pittsburgh to do something with it. He got caught in this ridiculous flash flood in like a mall parking lot or something. I don't know how exactly that happened. Pretty much immediately, I was like, do not let them take that car. Find out how much it is from insurance. I want that car. We'll do something cool with it. Turns out it was way more expensive than I wanted it to be, but I just couldn't see this thing go away. I just see too much cool potential. And now we got a Rolls Royce. So it's full of mold, but we got one. Every little kid's dream. A Rolls Royce full of biohazard level awful mold. Oh man. You wanna tell the people how weirdly this came about? How I had talked about wanting to do a Rolls Royce before.
Oh yeah, you talked about wanting to do like an 80s Rolls Royce, one that was like, you know, obtainable, not like ridiculously expensive. That was kind of like old junk that you could like turn into like a drag car.
Yeah. How long? When was I talking about that?
Like January or February.
Yeah, and then
like 6 months later, here we are.
Yeah, here we are. The Rolls Royce that I basically grew up drooling over is now meeting that fate. And we're about to drag this whale onto a trailer with a winch.
Did we ever determine, I'm sure no, because we haven't looked at this at all, what the hell we're hooking it to?
That's a very good question. Oh, by the way, this is Brian, the caretaker of
this lovely piece of machinery.
Yeah,
it's been gracing my driveway with its presence since July.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah.
Its official people name is Mr. Forbes, as a namesake to its former owner. So we're about to drag Mr. Forbes onto the trailer. I mean, this is made out of straight metal. We could probably hook to this.
Don't do that.
I'm kidding. This is worth more than my truck. This grill is probably worth more than the truck it's gonna pull it home. Yeah, a new drive shaft for this car is like $3,500, so we're not gonna cut it. But it looks to be covered with multiple layers of exhaust and sound deadening and all kinds of other stuff that is a lot. So we're just gonna drag it. Maybe. I don't know. What did they hook to when they yanked it over here?
I think the control arm.
How bad is the trunk?
They actually drive.
What? The
Yeah.
trunk doesn't look bad at all. No, I'm like, oh my God. Well, we got the OEM trickle charger. It's fully submerged.
You know, this cubby,
That smells
this
bad.
cubby may be holding 90% of the smell that's still in this vehicle.
That's a very good point.
Is that like the manual?
Yeah, that blown out book to the right.
Yeah.
The top of the cover feels nice though.
Get a jack under it or see where to pull it from, because the problem is that thing has some kind of convoluted air suspension that does not work anymore, and it's like this far off the ground.
Yeah, our low profile aluminum jack that we own that normally fits under most slow cars doesn't even make it under the body molding. So it's basically like jacking up a stance car that doesn't roll. This is much, we should call up Ocean City PD, see how they recover stance cars from H2O and get some pointers.
That's a great idea. Except this one weighs 5,600 pounds and it's stuck in park.
Yes.
I really dug myself a hole. I really hemmed and hawed on this because this is like, literally, I'm not kidding. This was the biggest purchase of my entire life by a lot. Like single purchase, just write a check, gone. And I was hesitant because, not because of how cool I thought it could be or how much fun the build would be, but just the amount of work that it was going to take was my only hesitation to jump in, to take the risk. And I knew that if my only hesitation was my reluctance to do the work, then I needed to do it anyway because it was worth doing. And I guess the work starts now with just getting it onto the trailer. So we're gonna pull a dipstick just to see if there's any water in there, because we're deflecting from what we really should be doing, which is figuring out how to get this thing on the trailer. It looks sort of milky.
It looks a little milky. All right, the jury's still out on that one.
Okay, yeah, we don't know. We don't know.
Did you say that wasn't what I was hoping to see?
Yeah.
Do you want a real flashlight?
Yes, that would be handy.
All right.
Thank you, sir.
When's the last time you used this winch, Mitchell?
Like end of July. That was also the first time I used this winch.
And it's been used not once since then?
No.
A little bit of hope and pray.
I'm like 90% sure this is how it goes. Hey, I think it works. Ah, wait, let me get this let me get this ironed out first.
I saw movement.
Yeah, it's starting to move.
So this is about exactly as how I expected this to go.
Yeah, so, you know, I was prepared for this, but I was not going to assume this was gonna happen because I was hoping for the best case scenario, which is not that. So we're going to Home Depot to buy a jack.
Yeah.
I need to buy a jack anyway because some people stole mine out of the back of my truck in Texas. Some people, yeah, that happened. So don't have a floor jack, need to buy one anyway. There's a Home Depot like a mile and a half from here. We're gonna get creative. It's getting on the trailer somehow. They got it onto a flatbed somehow.
Right.
So we could do the same thing somehow.
Theoretically.
How many times have we walked past this before we found it?
One, twice, 4.
4, yeah. So the only thing we have to go off of as far as a lift point for this car is this picture I found on Google, which is really not very descriptive. It may not even be the same year, but it looks similar enough underneath that we're just gonna send it. So yeah, we'll see if it works. Nothing's creaking or crunching,
Which is promising.
yeah. All right,
Got a wheel off the ground.
all right, we're getting somewhere here. Get a little Schrader valve on that thing so we can just air it up whenever we feel like it. Damn, boy.
Do it.
Stance Nation ain't got on this. Check out my friends, guys. These people, Joanna's not here, but they're both real G's. They let my moldy car sit in their driveway for like 6 months and they never complained about it. And now he's here helping me do it in the cold. So go check them out. My friends are genuine people and that's important to me.
Aw, thanks, Mitchell.
Now show them.
Come check
why
out my sweet car.
Yeah.
And this is my dusty pile of turd right now. The 94 GT. It's got a Gen 3 Coyote in it out of a 2018 car. Also with the Whipple, which conveniently came off my wife's car. We're doing a full S550 interior swap on it. So this is full dash, steering wheel, center console, transmission. All of that wiring on the ground there, all of that wiring over there is all out of our 2018 donor car that is all getting swapped into this baby. So you can check out this build on mine and my wife's YouTube channel, That 1320 Chick. Mitchell will link it somewhere.
Yes, I will.
I don't know, here or here, somewhere. Somewhere. But yeah, so this is us. Back to rolls. That's just the plastic. All right, stop there. Stop. We're gonna be into bumper in a second.
Okay, so we scooted the ass over a little bit. We can't steer it because in order to steer it, we would have to like be able to poke it and turn it on to unlock the column. So this is what we have to work with. And the 2x4 is keeping the bumper safe, thankfully. So I guess we're just gonna roll with it and see
How far this takes us.
Wait, we're gonna rolls with it.
We're gonna rolls with it.
We're gonna rolls with it.
That's our only Royce.
The does not rolls Royce.
Hold on. Maybe we want to throw more wood under it.
Yeah, I think the wood is working as a buffer.
Well, I meant here,
Yeah, it's just
because now it's gonna drag that.
oh yeah, that ain't good. We need to get wood under that too. So we're using the
Leftover shelf material.
The
for
R&D.
my interior projects.
This seems stupid, but I really think it's gonna work. I really do. Because I've watched this trailer before and then tried to load up right after, and if I don't have any kind of momentum, the tires just spin on the ramp. Because that's really shiny powder coat. So we scooted the car forward, picked it up, and replaced the dollies with pieces of wood so that way it can slide more flushly right onto the ramps, which are pre-sprayed with dish soap. We're really doing it. I was just saying, I'm like definitely gonna wash this thing before it even comes off the trailer, just so it's more pleasurable to look at during all of this. And I think we might just straight up pressure wash the inside. I don't know. We're really fleshing it out here. We're not cutting out any of the good details. You're getting to see it all. You're seeing it all.
This is raw right here.
We ready to drag?
We're ready to drag, brother.
Hold on. Oh, stop. It's high centered.
Really?
I think so. So, yeah. Damn it.
What the hell?
Stop. 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 Yeah, we're at the muffler. It just pulled. No, it's right at it. Back it off just a tad. Okay. What are you doing right now?
Living on a prayer.
Okay.
If something cracks or crunches, I'll stop. But I'm trying to take some weight off, and then it'll, you know, roll with the jack. You gonna see if it will turn?
Just a touch. I don't.
Do you want to touch it?
No, I don't want to touch it.
The hill is not working in our favor, so we're just gonna have to start manhandling this thing. Why are we putting soap on the side?
Because that's the direction the car needs to go right now.
And that's the direction the F-150 is gonna pull it. Yep, that's happening. Here we go. I'm disguising my nerves for this entire situation with humor, because I've said it before, this is the most expensive thing I've ever purchased in my entire life. And this is just an indicator of how difficult this is going to be. Like, I thought the Escalade was my Everest, and this is my new Everest. There it is. God. A little more, right there. Are you prepared for this?
Yeah, it's in 4 low.
Oh, 4 low, ready to go. All right, let's see what happens. It's working. We moved about an inch. A little more. All right. Let me scope it out. All right, stop. We got a couple fingers width there. Okay, yeah, we're perfect right here. Now we're actually closer on this side, but that's okay.
Check the jack on the back side.
Okay. I can't believe we just did that. I'd say that's probably okay. The axles are really far back on this trailer, so it's kind of hard to get it 50-50. Like, I think it's designed to have some weight on the truck. We did it. It is on there. How long did that take us? I wasn't even paying attention.
We started when we got back from dinner at 6, and it's 10:45.
Wow.
4 hours and 45 minutes.
4 hours and 45 minutes of just pure ingenuity. Did you see anything we were doing in there?
I saw the truck back up and I was like, at this point, I don't care what you're doing. My dad was literally on FaceTime with me and he was like, what is Mitchell doing? And I was like, oh, I don't know.
He's sloppy mechanic shit right there.
He's dragging a Rolls Royce across the trailer with an F-150. You know, everyday stuff. When did I turn into Forrest Gump? I need to go. I'm delusional. It's okay. I'm allowed to be. I had to be delusional to buy this freaking thing in the first place. God, it takes up the whole trailer. It makes the truck look tiny. So now we're back in Pennsylvania. We're gonna pick up the original wheels for this thing and some other stuff like the transfer case for Uncle George, the 632 big block Suburban build we got coming up. Those of you that have been around a while, you know a lot of the stuff I'm referring to, and I don't like repeating myself, but there are new people coming to the channel with every video, so sometimes I have to like give a little bit of background when I explain something, just so everybody knows, you know, everybody's on the same page. Yeah, the hood would not stay latched. This definitely got some looks on the highway. There were guys that, like, when I towed the Escalade, that's what happened too. People would hang back like right here just to stare at it, and then they would pass me. It was kind of funny. As you can see, there is still water coming out of it. Every time it gets parked on a new angle, more water comes out of it. I'm just glad it's not summer anymore, because working, like tearing this thing apart, cleaning it out, all that stuff in summer would just be brutal. But the cold's gonna help nullify a lot of that. Also, I got a poll for you guys. Do you think it would run if I, you know, changed out broken fuses, got it all dried off, everything? Do you think it would run? Obviously, we're gonna try. We've got to check the spark plug, strain the oil, all that stuff, see if the engine took damage. If it didn't take damage, we'll freaking try to fire this thing up and drive it around. I don't care. The original wheels had these center caps that are weighted so they stay upright. It's pretty freaking sweet. I can't wait to use those again. Probably the only time you'll see Rolls-Royce keys in hands that look like this. I think I can open this with the key part. Ugh. Well, it doesn't stay open, so that's cool. Oh. It looks fine, but I promise you it's not. Call me a sissy, but I have like pretty legit allergies, and I open that thing and it's just asthma right away, every time. It's pretty cool that this, you know, we'll call it Mr. Forbes here, is joining the channel fleet, because much like the Escalade and Uncle Rob and, you know, the inspiration for the Uncle George, I have a personal connection and like past with this car. So it's just cool. It's not just some meaningless car. It's going to be an awesome build, and it means something to me too, because it's been around for half my life. So this is the Mr. Forbes. This is your car. You haven't really looked inside a whole lot yet, but what exactly happened that caused this?
Got stuck in a flash flood. Barely got out of the car, but thankfully we did. But the car didn't fare so well. Man, oh man. That's awful.
Did you open the door yet?
See that steering wheel? Holy.
It looks like it's got one of those fuzzy covers on it.
God, that's disgusting. Can you don't think it'll open?
It'll open enough to look in there.
Jesus. What a nightmare, huh? Doesn't have the automatic closing doors anymore.
No, I don't. Whenever it shut off, did the whole car go dark, or did it just kill the engine?
First the engine, then within 20 seconds everything.
Huh.
And then we couldn't get the windows open, and then we couldn't get out, and water was up to over our lap. And yeah, it was not good. Not good at all. By the time we got out, I was all the way to the dashboard. I just kept like laying into the door with my shoulder, and finally it popped. We had to like basically swim out. It was full of water the next day. Because I obviously left it there, and we walked back to the hotel. And then I went down. I walked down in the morning to check it out, and it was filled with water.
Did the water level keep rising after you got out?
Yeah, it was not quite over the dash, but it was definitely up to the gauges.
Huh.
And there were like 5 other cars right by it, and they were all had floated up on top of like islands and stuff. Obviously, this didn't float anywhere. But
when did you buy this thing? This is like round out of the backstory.
yeah. So it's, what is it? 05, 04?
04.
My dad was a big Anglophile. Always drove Jags and Rovers and stuff like that. Always wanted to get a Bentley. And I went to an auction probably 09, I think. And I said to my brother, we bought the company from our dad. And I said, hey, we should get Dad, you know, Bentley. He's always wanted one, whatever. And they said, yeah, get him whatever you want. And this came out, so I got this. And at the time it had, I think, 7,500 miles on it. And I drove it back from Atlanta. That's where I bought it. I had a flight, but we bagged the flight and drove it home.
How long did he drive it for? Did he use it that much?
Yeah, once in a while. He would take it to, like, on vacation and up to his cottage and stuff like that. I don't know if you remember, he was a big, huge, tall guy. And he wore like a fedora, and he smoked the pipes. He looked pretty cool in it. I always kind of looked like a jackass when I was in it. And it was funny when I tried to get it towed out of that flood. Nobody, well, we don't want to mess with the Rolls Royce. Like, the thing's totaled. I don't give a drag it with a chain. You know, just get it out of there. But be anxious to watch you come back to life.
Yeah, it's gonna live a second life. My original plan for this video was to get it and, like, you know, tear the seats out and stuff all in the same thing, but the way things had to transpire with us having to move and everything, we just weren't able to do that. So if you've never been to this channel before, if you're interested in seeing this thing, make sure you subscribe with notifications on so you can follow that. We are obviously in the process of still getting this place set up. We had to build a whole wall over there. We're kind of doing videos about that too. But the problem is, I can't post anything about what we're doing in here until I post a video about this, because it's impossible to hide. Obviously, it's still on the trailer. That's how difficult it's going to be to get it off the trailer. So that'll be fun. Not really. Urgency to, you know, get the ozone machine running inside and keep the mold from getting worse and everything. I was like all gung-ho to do it when we brought it back, but we had to do all this. So it's still there. And an extra, you know, 4 days after it's been sitting for months, I don't think it's going to be that bad. Recap, current agenda as far as videos go is you're going to see the shop get to workable condition. Then you're going to see the interior come out of this thing, and, you know, we'll see if what can be brought back, how bad it really is, because we didn't really dig into it up there. We weren't, you know, we're going to like wear suits and all that. It's going to be a big ordeal. And once that is degrossified and cleaned out, we can roll it back in here, let it sit while the Escalade gets put back together, because the engine just showed up for that.
Can we just take a moment and look how big the Rolls Royce is? Like,
yeah,
comparable to the Escalade, it looks like it's like significantly bigger.
it is bigger. So here's a fun fact. The wheelbase on the Escalade, it's an ESV Suburban, you know, those things, 130 inches. That's 140. It's longer. This thing, bumper to bumper, is longer than a Ford Excursion. It's
gonna be cool.
Yeah. And we're not gonna tell you what we're gonna put in it yet. We know what we're doing, but that's a secret. We're gonna try and mess around with it the way it is first, just to see. And no, don't ask me if you can buy the V12, because I'm not gonna sell it unless there's a hole in the side of the block. It's gonna get probably refreshed and stuck on a stand for a rainy day, because why would you not want to build something down the road with a Rolls-Royce V12 in it? That's kind of cool.
And it's got to be something where it's like you like open a Ford Pinto and there's a Rolls-Royce V12 in it. Like, it's got to be something stupid.
Just something you would be no way it would ever make sense to go in there. So yeah, a lot of cool things coming up. Let me hear what you're thinking in the comments. Were you prepared for this? I know a lot of you guys probably thought I was going to come home with a NASCAR on this trailer, and it's probably about as far from that as you could possibly get. But yeah, all kinds of stuff going on. We're just really busy, and we're glad you're here for it. We're glad you're patient. I don't even know what else to say other than just thank you, really. Those of you who know what I'm talking about, you've been around for a long time. You are why we are able to do this kind of ridiculous stuff. So,
and we thank you for your patience.
Yes, your patience, especially if you ordered something during this whole move process. We haven't been able, it's all in boxes, so we can't ship anything. That's kind of the urgency to get all of this done, and why I haven't been posting.
It gives me anxiety.
Yeah. I
have to refold every single shirt we have.
Yeah. So you can check that stuff out, like the shirt I'm wearing, on StablestonAutoworks.com. And
I like the blue logo.
Yeah,
it's like cool. A really nice blue.
And we got hoodies too, like you saw me wearing that earlier in the video. So just check it out if you want to. We'll see you next time.